Hello, my name is Tim Graham, and this is my video blog, Next Level Strategies. Today, I'm going to be sharing something special about me that I hope will make you excited. That something special is the fact that I believe in destiny. That's right, I believe in destiny. Not in the sense that there is some magic sword stuck in a rock somewhere and only I can pull it out, but in the sense that I believe in divine design and opportunity. I believe that each of us are endowed with special purpose and contribution. I was born in 1971 in Portland, Oregon. There are 3 years between myself and my older sister, 1 year for each for the three babies my parents lost through miscarriage. Boy, am I glad they didn't give up. When I was in junior high, I was always asked, what do you want to do when you get older? I mean, what junior higher ever knows how to answer that question? Well, I did. I'm going to college to be an electrical engineer. The Air Force is going to pay for it, and I'm going to work with some of the best engineers in the world. I got some of the most awkward looks. Adults just didn't know how to respond to that. There is a 3,000-year-old proverb that says, without a vision, people cast off self-discipline. Having a vision certainly worked for me. I knew that if I was going to get a scholarship, I was going to have to do well in school. And that was a driving motivator in my life when so many other teenagers floundered aimlessly. The time came to apply for scholarships, and I applied for many. Any guesses as to what was the only scholarship that I was offered? Air Force ROTC. I graduated with an electrical engineering degree, and the Air Force paid for it. My first assignment was at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Dayton, Ohio. Where in the world is that? I asked. But you got to remember, my skill set was math, not geography. My second assignment took me to Seattle, Washington, where I was stationed at the Boeing Company as a contract manager, working with some of the best engineers in the world, developing the F-22 Raptor. Psalms 37:23 says, the Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. He delights in every detail of your life. Do you believe that? Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Now, I know I just said I didn't believe in magic swords stuck in rocks, but the number of coincidences that had to happen for me to meet and marry my wife borders on the legendary. The Air Force brought me to Dayton in January of 1994, where it is on record for a crazy negative 19 degrees. I had never been in that kind of cold weather before. This is an important fact that I distinctly remember after having locked myself out of my car. I was alone. It was night. I was not dressed appropriately. Cell phones were not a thing yet. And the only payphone I could find was torn off the wall. I had been in town not even 48 hours yet, and I didn't know a soul. To make a great story short, the Good Samaritan that came to my aid encouraged me to attend a church down the road. What was odd about this is they did not attend that church. They attended some other church. And that stood out to me. So what do you do with that? Well, I started attending that church, and I made a friend there, and we became best of friends. His family adopted me, and every weekend, holiday, or family barbecue, I was there. It was May of 1994. Spring was in the air, and I was feeling pretty good about myself as I walked up to their house. Suddenly, this car flies into the driveway, and a beautiful blonde jumps out, says something to my friend, jumps back into her car, and drives off. I was struck to the heart and said out loud with all the bravado I could muster, I'm going to like being a part of this family. 4 years later to the month, I married that beautiful blonde who happened to be my friend's cousin. But first I had to get her attention, get rid of the guy she was currently engaged to, and then we had to survive a 13-month long-distance relationship before we could get married. That was 25 years ago, and I was right. I really have liked being a part of that family. So How does my believing in destiny translate into something that you should be excited about? Let me quickly review the thread of events that started 4 decades ago and has resulted in my being here today. In junior high, I decided I was going to college and the Air Force was going to pay for it. The Air Force brought me to Dayton, where I locked my keys in my car. The Good Samaritan referred me to a church where I make a friend. The friend has a beautiful blonde cousin who is engaged to another man. The Air Force moves me to Seattle, where I spent over 20 years making babies with that beautiful blonde. And it is that same beautiful blonde that has brought me back here to Dayton. And then there's you. For wherever your path has brought you to this moment in time that you are listening to this teaching and our paths have intersected, even if it's just for a moment, it is not a coincidence. So in essence, you can say that my entire life has been in preparation for being here with you today. And I believe I have a divine contribution that I get to invest into your life. And that, I hope, gets you excited. My name is Tim Graham, and I believe in destiny. In my next power word, I'm going to continue on the topic of destiny because there is more to the story and more biblical support. So thumbs up with this episode, share it with someone you think will benefit, and I will see you next week.